Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series, the podcast that celebrates individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Dawn Bell and Jessica Kipp are our guests today. Dawn is the Chamber President, and Jessica is the Vice President for the Ridgefield, Washington Chamber of Commerce. Dawn and Jessica, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Fantastic. Now, I will admit, I did my homework because I did discover there's another Ridgefield Chamber of Commerce somewhere else. We'll just give them a go, guys, because we want to talk about Washington and your beautiful state and where you're located. And first off, Dawn, why don't you kick us off? And where is Ridgefield, Washington located? Give us an idea.
Ridgefield, Washington. Washington's in the Pacific Northwest, and Ridgefield is just north of Vancouver, Washington, which is Clark County. So we're right across the river from Portland, Oregon. Vancouver, Washington, commonly mistaken for Vancouver, Canada. We're in the southern part of the state, and Ridgefield is the furthest north in the county. Ridgefield, Washington, right off of I-5.
Excellent. Well, I know an I-5 because there's one that goes by California, I think, or someplace
I-5
like that.
goes all the way north and south.
That pesky little interstate. Now, how long have you been the Chamber President?
Oh my gosh. We're going on 6 years. I know that's not typical, but we have now found someone to replace me, and we are grooming her to take charge.
I love it. I love it. Now I know why you were so adamant. Well, Jessica has to be on the podcast with me because she has to be the spokesperson and the representative. Jessica, how long have you been involved in the chambers? Is your first foray into the chamber activities and the running of the chamber?
As far as run-ins with the chamber, I used to work for the city of Ridgefield, so I did work hand in hand with the chamber as far as events and such. But as far as being on the board and volunteering, that's relatively new in the last 6 months.
Okay. So what's different about working for local government as opposed to working for a chamber who's there to represent the businesses?
Well, as the chamber person, we're volunteers. We're not paid. So that's the number one difference.
Okay. So you all have day jobs then, is what you're saying?
Yes, we do. We have day jobs.
Okay. And this is both of your side hustles. Okay. I love it.
We both have a passion to give back to the community, and this has been my dearest and kind of closest passion is just to kind of helping out with the chamber. It kind of gets us involved with the small businesses, and it's been a great opportunity to meet small businesses. And Ridgefield's one of the fastest growing communities in Washington. So it's been great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Especially hearts of entrepreneurs. We like to support small businesses.
There you go. I did notice on the website it was very obvious. I couldn't miss it. The third fastest growing community. Why is that significant for your area?
Well, besides the economic growth and the benefits that surround that, it's the growth. My husband just kind of sat in.
He's helping us.
Yeah. No, I mean,
All right.
I think Ridgefield.
We can introduce him if you want to.
Because it's so close to the I-5 corridor, there's in Clark County, the development, the housing boom, they've really moved north up the I-5 corridor, and we're seeing a lot of new residential homes. And I mean, Ridgefield has over 500 small businesses. Our members right now are 146 strong for the Ridgefield Chamber. And I just feel like we're getting an In-N-Out burger in the next few months. And that's putting us on the map.
That's better than Starbucks.
We're perfectly located between Portland and Seattle. We're just right in that hub. And we had a lot of farmland that now is being developed. We just have room for growth. So
Okay. So what are some of the small businesses? I mean, again, no, I know you're always going to find real estate professionals. You're going to find the insurance professional. You're going to find the tax professional, the law professional. What are some of the unique small businesses that if visitors are going to come by and you want them to stop in as they're taking that drive from Vancouver up to Seattle, what are some of the small businesses that are really unique to your community?
I mean, besides the restaurants, we have some unique little great spots to eat and wineries. We have a lot of really great wineries. Part of our chamber networking event is we have a wine down Wednesday, and
Okay,
it's strictly
I love it.
networking at different wineries. We have, I mean, U-Haul started in Ridgefield, Washington. U-Haul's a nationwide kind of common name and household name, and it
Sure.
actually started in Ridgefield, Washington.
Okay.
We're the Pacific Northwest in our area. We're an hour and a half to the beach. We're an hour and a half to the mountain. You can be skiing. We have river access. We have a boat launch that we just did some research this morning. There's over 12,000 boats that launch from our little boat launch on an annual basis. It's the slough that goes right to the Columbia.
Okay.
Very common for fishermen and all kinds of great access like that. Kayaking, and
we also have shops. Well, we're now getting a bicycle shop. We have a new little ice cream. Everything's just right off the freeway. Great little places.
Yeah, the college is coming into Clark County, or it's in Clark County, but we're getting a campus in Ridgefield, so that's going to be
It's a big draw.
a big draw right off the freeway, so easy access. Yeah.
Okay. Now you mentioned a couple food opportunities, and I'm a big foodie myself. But what would be a kind of this area of Washington? What do you? I mean, besides wine, what are you most known for in terms of like the food offerings? Is it farm to table? Is it
We do.
which ones?
We definitely, yeah,
jump
we
out?
have a farm to table downtown Ridgefield. We have the popular interest right now are all the food carts, and we have an area in downtown Ridgefield that has a bunch of food carts. We have a casino that's creating a huge kind of stir within the state that's in Washington, and it's called A, and it's
Mhm.
right off the freeway. It's north of our little city, but it's in our zip code, and there's huge
Michael
lots
Jordan's
of restaurants in there.
steakhouse.
Yeah.
It's very
Michael
popular.
Jordan's restaurant. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Right in our backyard.
How about that? Is it now? Does he have the big sign out front with the basketball and his famous leap to the net? I don't know.
You should did. No, it's inside the casino. But I would also
Okay.
say seafood. We have pretty direct access to seafood. We get the fresh stuff right out of the ocean. So we're spoiled there too. But lots of farms,
Okay.
greenery, fruit. We have access. Like the
Okay,
We have
dwarves.
a great restaurant that our chamber meets. We have our monthly lunch meeting at what's called Bevridge. It's
Uh-huh.
Bev and Ridgefield kind of put together for Bevridge, and it's a great little spot right off the freeway. Lots of small individual business owners that are not big nationwide companies, but then there are some like In-N-Out Burger coming, Michael Jordan's, some of the well-known Costco we just opened this last year.
I'm like all in. I'm always looking for my next place to live. So you've got In-N-Out and Costco. I'm good. I'm good.
We'll help you find a house, Howard.
We'll help you.
There
find
you
a house.
go. There you go. I'm always looking for my next place to live. So that's why I do these interviews. It's not just hey, it's a podcast. This is like me doing my research nationwide.
Yeah, we have walking trails. We have over 500 miles of walking trails.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have the National Wildlife Refuge. It was
I was
200
gonna
over
ask about
250
that.
trails. Yeah.
And then I can never pronounce it correctly, but Cathlapotle House. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So we have that right here in our backyard in the refuge, and it's a place where it has so much history, and that's literally where
It's like a cedar plank house from the indigenous species that
Okay.
I didn't.
once resided on the refuge. So
Okay.
it's
All right.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Well,
Still intact, so it's kind of cool.
I love it. We're going to take a tour of the website, so let's make sure we head over there as well to see the link to the refuge. And as I was doing my research, again, another reason why when I look for my next place to live is, I mean, I love wildlife refuges. I have one like 10 miles up the road here in Las Vegas, and it's just a great place to hang out, but nobody knows about it, which I'm happy with because it's not getting overrun by tourists, but it's so nice to be around nature. And I want to talk about nature, but before we do that, just given the farmlands that are still being worked, I would imagine you have some pretty nice farmers markets up there, and get like the fruits, the vegetables. I mean, is that a year-round activity?
First Saturday, we have what's called the first Saturday, and it's downtown Ridgefield. It's very common to like your farmer's market, lots of different booths set up, lots of small business, but there's fresh flowers always, there's plants. It's not as big as the farmer's market for Vancouver that Vancouver has downtown, but we're definitely getting there.
Okay, very nice. And I have one last foodie kind of question. Is there a good place for coffee? Because I'm a coffee guy.
We also have Coffee Connection every Friday at 7:30 at Lava Java, which is a little small business owned coffee place. She's won millions of awards, not millions, but a lot of awards for her.
Food is fantastic. Her coffee is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, and you said 7:30. I'm thinking you meant 7:30 in the morning, right?
7:30 in the morning, and 7:30 to 8:30. We have a Coffee
Oh.
Connection. It's a networking event, very casual, but it's a lot of fun, and it's at Lava Java.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we head to the website, just in addition to the National Wildlife Refuge and all the walking trails, what are some of the other outdoor activities? Obviously, you've got the golf, tennis courts, maybe there's some disc golf, but what are some other activities that are really, pleasantly available in your little neck of the woods?
Yeah. So one thing that we do not have that I've been talking to city council about every time I see them is a Top Golf. I'm really hoping to get a Top Golf put in because that's a great little place. But we have Rourke, which is our Ridgefield outdoor recreational facility, and it's a baseball field for collegiate baseball level.
Bat league.
Yeah, it's a wood bat league, and it's right across the street from the high school. There's a lot of activity that happens there.
Yeah,
we have
a huge facility.
Mount St. Helens, if you like to hike or anything like that. I mean, we're super close to Mount St. Helens.
And you're talking about the Mount St. Helens that I grew
Mount
up.
St. Helens.
The one and only.
The one.
Hopefully it's quiet, it'll stay quiet, but
exactly.
so I imagine there's some really wonderful places up there to explore.
The Pacific Northwest to me is my favorite part of our country. I've lived in Phoenix and I've traveled all the different places, and Pacific Northwest is my favorite.
It's beautiful. You can hike, you can camp, you can boat, fish. It's always something to do.
I love it.
And it's gorgeous.
On the river, is there, besides boating, is there like kayaking and activities?
There's a lot of kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, canoeing. The first weekend every June, there's a big event that we do downtown Ridgefield called Big Paddle. And that draws thousands of people. Yes.
Okay, very nice. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we go to the website and we can kind of point out some, besides navigating, let's point out some of the outdoor opportunities, because this is the Outdoor Adventure Series and we have to include that. All right, in the miracle of technology here, I am going to share my screen. And if we have to navigate elsewhere, we can do that. All right.
Okay.
Look at that.
I hate that picture. I'm telling her to change that first.
Okay. See, I'll think of this as an opportunity to write down some notes. This has got to change. This has got to change. So I love it. I love it. And I think if I open up this a little bit, there we go. We can kind of see all the words. All right. So who's going to navigate for us?
Let Dawn do that.
Okay.
Me.
Dawn, you're going to do that. All right.
Okay.
Where should I go?
Well, I think the funnest part for me are the events that we are doing. And like I was mentioning before, just to kind of touch a little bit on that, we have ongoing events. So every Friday is the Coffee Connection.
Okay.
Every third Wednesday is our Wine Down Wednesday. We kind of alternate different locations that we have that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our luncheon on the last Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
The other thing that you're seeing on the events is ribbon cuttings. So we have a bunch of volunteers, and we call them the blue coats because our Ridgefield our colors are blue and orange.
Right.
And as you can see, there's some ribbon cuttings, and the ribbon cuttings represent small businesses that are opening or maybe having an annual event, or maybe they did a remodel and their business is celebrating, and we come out with those big, huge scissors and the ribbon, and we do a big celebration with city council, and we showcase it on social media a lot, and we get a lot of synergy from those type of events, and we're really trying to help our small businesses. So that's kind of our favorite thing that we do. We do the Coffee Connection, the ribbon cuttings. We collaborate quite a bit with Main Street. There's Main Streets in every state.
Sure.
Washington has Main Streets, and we have Ridgefield Main Street that they do their activities. And so we do a lot with Main Street. That's where the big paddle comes in. So the chamber, we actually host the beer garden, and we help out in that area while there's all different kinds of events. The first Saturday events is something that the city puts on, and then we just kind of come to the table. We always bring coffee for that event, and then we allow some of our small businesses to sit at the booth with us to showcase anything that they want to talk to the folks that are coming and walking around and kind of joining the fun. But you can kind of see as you're kind of scrolling through there, these are just some of the different events. Like the Wine Down Wednesday, those are at different places each month so that we can showcase the different wineries that are moving into Washington. Gosh, I don't even know how many wineries we have, but we must have at least 25 different wineries. And they're not all members of the chamber, but
wow,
there's
a high number.
There's a ton of wineries that we have.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I could see myself at the Coffee Connections and the Wine Down Wednesdays. I think this is fantastic, and it's just a great way to promote.
Group of people.
Great group, yeah. And I imagine it also for like the new businesses coming into town, or maybe they're there already, or they're contemplating. This is a great way to introduce why they need to open up a business in Ridgefield as opposed to somewhere up the I-5 corridor.
Right. The last Tuesday is our lunch meeting, and we try to bring in some speakers that will benefit the small business owners. We had a marketing panel this last month, yesterday, and I'm not sure if there's any pictures posted on that. We did on our Facebook post already, but we had great turnout for that. Lots of folks walked away and they were taking lots of notes. So to me, that was proof that they were at least getting something out of it. So
we're speed networking. We usually try to make it something beneficial for the business members.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, if I want to learn more about the outdoor spaces, will I be able to start here, or is there somewhere else that I would typically go to?
So if you wanted to really focus on the outdoor, I would just go to the Ridgefield cities, because the city is going to talk more about the wildlife refuge, and the city site is going to talk more about the trails and that kind of stuff. It's not really something that the chamber has on there, but that's something good to make note of, Howard. And I think we should actually put a link on our website that would tie that together.
Imagine that. Because this is where, and again, why we started the podcast is you've all, like, so I imagine some of the small businesses, you probably have you've got the bike shop, or you have the outfitters for the canoe, or or go fishing, bait and tackle, or getting your hiking equipment, your hiking poles, and there's just lots of ways to kind of communicate that in some of your events. So yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to go out to it was the what am I going to look for? By the way, you're not supposed to see Birch Bay. I publish their episode tomorrow. They're in competition with my next place to live, by the way. So I am in Rich. So it's the Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge.
RIDG. Yep, there you go.
The city of Ridgefield. Or you could go to you could go there too.
Okay. I will say here in the closest, what's it called? National Wildlife Refuge here in Nevada. The colors of the desert are all fairly brown. What I love about your area is there's a lot of green going on.
There's a lot of green. Well, we do get a lot of rain.
Yes.
We suffer
But
that.
when the sun comes out, as you can see in our background, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and thank you for planning that out. You had the sun taking its blue sky for the podcast. So you've done great. So you're like perfect location with the refuge. How do you pronounce this? Is it Save?
Sabi.
Sabi Island.
I was close. Save Island Wildlife. I mean, it's just so much. I mean, you could literally just get lost, figuratively speaking, just enjoying everything that's in the Ridgefield area here, just in terms of the green spaces. I love it.
It's gorgeous.
I love it. Well, very good. And let me just see. I like birding, by the way. So if I imagine there's a lot of birds out there as well.
We have lots of birds. Yeah.
Oh, you got goosehawks, you got hawks. I love it. Love the big raptors. Well, very cool.
Howard, if you hop over to the city of Ridgefield,
let's do that.
I think that website is probably more comprehensive in regards to the outdoor area here.
Okay. Whoa, is that Mount St. Helen?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's not far from here.
That's not far. Well, if we change direction a little bit, we could probably see it from the house, but that's a winery. That's one of our favorite wineries. We're having a wine down at that next one. It's Windy Hills.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I'm on the,
there you go. Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm curious for our listeners, what's the relationship for the chamber when it comes to its interaction with the city government, whether it's the mayor's office, the city council, the planning, folks want to start a business, build a structure, or maybe a family, start a business up on Main Street, or maybe a family wants to come in and build a house. Do they come to you? Is it beneficial for them to come visit you guys first because you know how the city works and maybe help guide them, or should they go right to the city themselves?
It would be great if we did have kind of like a stepping stone per se for like a simple here, do 1 step, do 2 step, do 3 step to help you kind of get started with this small business. I don't think we have anything on our website that directs them that way. We would just refer them to the city to kind of get started. We do collaborate quite a bit with the city council members. Like I said, the city council members, the mayor, all those folks will come out to our ribbon cuttings and kind of do some of that fun stuff with us. We're always seeing them in downtown Ridgefield for the first Saturday event. There's always a tree planting event that the city does. I mean, the mayor's involved in quite a bit.
I was gonna say, it's still small town enough that we all know each other and we all work well together. And I've been told from business owners and people trying to integrate themselves into the community that it's one of the easiest and everyone is so friendly.
But I do like that idea, Howard, of adding a link to our website that says, hey, if you want to be a small business owner, here's the first 2 or 3 steps that might be helpful for them. So I'm going to take notes on that as well.
See, by the way, that's free consulting. I don't charge for that.
That's awesome. I love it.
Fantastic. Well, I am really excited. I have to come up to Ridgefield and just check you guys out. And I just, for our listeners and especially my peers in the Outdoor Writers Association, I knew I was going to cough there as I was saying that. My peers for the Outdoor Writers Association, I know they would love this area because of the hiking and then the fishing, the biking, and just the water sport activity, the birding activity. I mean, it's just like the perfect location. So guys are definitely on the list of my next places to live. I can assure you of that.
Come out, let us take you to lunch.
I love it. I've only been to the airport as I was going somewhere else, and so I'm like, huh, I would love to spend more time in the Pacific Northwest and Washington State.
The
Beautiful.
traffic is not bad. Really, we're about 20 minutes from the freeway. So
to PDX.
So to the airport. So it's not too bad. It is in another state. Vancouver is kind of the biggest suburb of Portland, Oregon, if you kind of look at a bigger picture.
Okay.
And Ridgefield is one of the biggest of Clark County, right? And so that's we're so close to the freeway that it's easy access, but we're not in the city mess per se.
Okay. I love that. It's just, I like just the outdoor space, the open space. I like my coffee in the morning and my adult beverage, a nice glass of wine in the evening. That's perfect.
You fit right in.
I know I would. So for both of you, as you are in your business owners or a part of the business community, and also representing as volunteers. By the way, before I ask the rest of that question, how many volunteers does the chamber have that are helping to support all of your activities?
So our board members are 11, but we have committees that kind of spin off of the board. So we have folks that help that. And then as far as the Blue Crew folks, so the Blue Crew folks are the ones that come out and do the ribbon cuttings, which are all volunteers. And they're probably about 40 strong.
Okay.
And they represent small businesses, and they're really all of Clark County, not just Ridgefield, but Ridgefield kind of hosts them and our insurance. They're kind of their officers' insurance is under ours. But for the board members, we're about 11 strong. And then we have committees that kind of help. And each committee, there's probably 4 or 5 different committees. It seems like we're developing a new committee, and maybe we need to do another committee for outdoor activities to make sure that gets added to our website. But each committee has about 3 or 4 people. So
there you go. Well, I'll tell you what, if Ridgefield becomes my next place to live, I will definitely be participating.
Volunteer?
Yes.
I have it in reporting.
Okay, it's right. It's the next thing to have it written on paper. So let me ask you both a question. And again, thank you for taking the time to helping navigate the website and I am curious for both of you being a part of the chamber community and really its mission. Let me start with you and Don, if you could think about what's been your aha moment as you have been a part of this operation, the chamber, helping to speak on behalf of the chamber, be involved with events. And by the way, I'm asking Jessica, you can think about the answer as Don is okay. What would be your aha moment, Don, in what you have been doing in terms of the chamber activities?
I mean, I guess my aha moment, I've always been a huge believer, and I've raised twin boys that are now 19. Well, they'll be 19 in July, but I've always taught them to kind of give back to the community that they live in. And if they want a good community, it's always good to kind of give a little bit back in some way. So volunteering has always been something in our house that I've been advocating for. And when I started this chamber, when I became the president, there was probably maybe 10 members and less than $100 in the bank account. And we have really grown it to give something back to our small businesses and really try to help the small businesses grow to their next level. And it's not necessarily just another chamber. I really believe that we do give back, and we preach that, and we try to teach others to give back in a way that it's it's beneficial for everybody. And I believe that you get more out of it by giving a little bit back rather than taking from it. So, yeah, we can go for a walk and pick up trash that as we're walking along the path. But if we're not talking about Ridgefield and talking about the small businesses and how you can kind of help each other and what
Mhm.
you can do for each other, I think that's kind of why I've been involved. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but
I
my
wa
my
I
aha
was
moment is when I have other small businesses come up to me and they say, "Wow, Dawn, you've really done a great thing for the chamber," and they give you a pat on the back, or
okay,
the mayor knows you by name, not just by a picture or something. So
gotcha. Okay. No, that's
I think
fair,
that
and
that's
I love that, and by the way, I don't ask that question because I expect an answer. As a coach, I'm in the moment. I want people to dive deep into their heart of why they do what they do, and
yeah.
so that's what I see the dog in the background there. I thought I saw a
I've got
tail.
3 of them, and they're now playing tug of war back here.
I love
Sorry
it.
about
I
that.
love it.
But
No, that's okay.
want to say one more thing because I'm super proud of my son. I really he just made it into West Point and he
Oh
started his
wow.
college, yeah, at West Point. And there was so much involved in getting him accepted into West Point. He had to be go through quite a bit.
Mhm.
It's not easy. And I feel like because of all the activities that he did in his senior year by giving back and being student ASB and president and all the different activities that he's done throughout his high school career, that really helped catapult him into getting into West Point. So I do
Very
think that
good.
there's some value in that.
Most definitely. Well, and congratulations to you and your
Thank
husband
you.
and to your son. Jessica, so it's your
Jessica.
turn now. Fo-
She's a hard
Hey,
act to
follow that
follow,
one.
but honestly, my aha moment happened not very long ago. And I found myself sitting at the table with Gus Farrar, the director of the Ridgefield Raptors Wood Bat League,
Mhm.
um, city manager Steve Stewart, and then Matt Cole, mayor, and being right there with Dawn and just kind of sitting in that moment felt a little surreal. We're all rubbing elbows. We're all like-minded people working towards the same cause
Mhm.
and giving back to the community. And then just to look out and see 100 plus business owners that are there and we're all collaborating. And it's special and it's really awesome to be a part of. So
Fantastic. So, what would you both like to share with our listeners before we head out today? And could be maybe there's a favorite quote, a book, just a call to action to get involved, whether it's coming to Ridgefield and getting involved or even getting involved in their own community. What would
Well,
your insights to go?
my call to action would be to have anybody that owns a Top Golf to come to
she's not going
Ridgefield.
to let it go.
It's 11 acres. We've got plenty of land. We need to get a Top Golf put up here because the
I
closest one is Hillsborough. It's like an hour away.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know what I'm gonna do? Because we talked about Top Golf, I'll make sure we have a backlink and a
Yeah.
hashtag for Top Golf. So I will do what I can do. Okay. I'll play my role. I will play my role.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
I think
very
the
welcome.
message from both of us is just get involved.
Yeah,
Just wherever you are, whatever you can do, big or small. We see a need, fill a need. Just get involved.
Okay. Very good.
if
I'll
it's
leave it.
just I mean, sorry, but part of the proceeds that when we are generating any proceeds, our proceeds go back to the high school for their college. We do a scholarship
Mhm.
giveaway. And so part of our proceeds go towards that. And even something like that, helping out your local students. We only have one high school still here in Richfield, and having 2 kids that just graduated, there's a huge absent of some scholarships for those kids, and showing and teaching them and telling them how easy it is to do the scholarship application and kind of getting involved with some of the school activities. There's a lot of volunteerism at your local high school that you can do just to help the teenagers. And I think if anybody did anything, just a little bit of that would be helpful.
Okay. No, I love it. And I appreciate you both sharing that. Dawn, if our listeners would like to learn more about Richfield and the Chamber and what's going on in the area, I know we were just at the website. Hint, hint, where's the best place to go?
the website. I would do Facebook. Our Facebook social page is probably most current because we have 3 of us that are constantly posting on it.
Okay.
And Facebook is a pretty staple item in every household. Everybody knows how to find it. I would just encourage folks to make sure it's Ridgefield, Washington, not Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Yes. I'm not even going to mess with you by putting in the Ridgefield, Connecticut Facebook page. I will promise you, sweat on my heart, I'll have backlinks not only to the Ridgefield, Washington Chamber of Commerce website, but also to your Facebook. And I know you have an Instagram page as well. And yes. Dawn, Jessica, I really want to thank you both for joining me on the podcast. You two are just fantastic to chat with. And I love the passion you have for your community. And you've taken a couple notes of things to do. We'll see how those come to fruition. But definitely, it's been very enjoyable conversation with you both. And I think, and really, for our listeners here in the Outdoor Adventure Series, there is truly a connection between the outdoor spaces and the local businesses. And in your geographic area, it's like, you can't miss it. Yeah. Okay, it's there.
Right.
And I think that's what's so cool about doing the series with the Chamber. So again, thank you both for taking the time today.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
All right. Now, listen, stay in the line. We're going to do a quick close, and then the 3 of us can have a final chat, and you guys can take a sip of the lemonade. Thanks your husband, because I know somebody's moving the camera around, or I don't know what it is, but
he left. I was kicking him under the table.
Just get out of here. Here in Boulder City, which their kickoff festival is this weekend called Spring Jam, and I usually go out and record episodes or short episodes with the businesses and the folks, the artisans, the folks, the volunteers. But her husband, Barry, he's like, whenever there's an event, her husband is always there, and her kids are always there helping out.
Yeah.
If you see Dawn, you'll see Mark.
Well, and the other, I wanted to mention about moving to the Pacific Northwest rather than any other state. We have some really good, besides wine, we have really good beer in the Pacific Northwest. So that's another reason for you to move to Ridgefield.
I'm thinking you guys are very quickly going to let's just say the top 5. Let's say top 5. I won't say where all the other places are. Top 5, but I definitely would love to come visit, and maybe we'll do some more podcasts together. So I'm going to do a quick close, stay in the line, and then we'll have a final chat. Okay.
Okay.
All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. We had the pleasure of having Dawn Bell, the current president of the Ridgefield Chamber of Commerce. Her partner in crime today is Jessica Kipp, who is currently the vice president. It was just great to hear them chat about this community that they are both very passionate about. And it sounds like just the type of community, if you just want to get away from the big city and the traffic, you're just in a beautiful small town community with lots to offer, from the small businesses all the way to the outdoor adventures that await you in the various wildlife refuges, and also the biking and the hiking trails that abound. Now, do go out to the Chamber's website. You can visit them at ridgefieldchamberofcommerce.com. I do know for a fact that this is the Ridgefield Chamber of Commerce. We're not going to put a backlink to Connecticut. We'll just give them a quick shout out. But we're also going to have backlinks to the Facebook and Instagram pages for the Chamber. And of course, you can listen to this episode on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn on our Outdoor Adventure Series pages. The video of today's episode, including the tour of the website and also the city's page and the Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge page, that entire file will be up on our YouTube channel, so you can catch the video of the interview. And of course, you can listen to this episode wherever you get your podcast from. And remember, we love likes, comments, and sharing. So please do that. Okay, folks, until next time, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. And we look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.